Unusual wedding laws from around the world.
Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Laura and this is Rebecca. And as a wedding channel based in the UK, we've done a lot of research and know a lot about kind of wedding laws, what you've got to do to get married in the UK, in England and Wales, sometimes slightly different in other parts. So we thought we'd spread our net a little bit wider for this week's video and find out some of the differences, some of the laws, some of the surprising, well, possibly surprising things that people in other countries have to do or are not allowed to do when it comes to getting married.
Yeah. So this one is really just a bit of fun. We're trying to make sure that these are accurate, but we appreciate they might not be commonplace anymore or all those kind of things. So please just do take this with a pinch of salt and it's just a bit of fun.
Yes. So to kick it off, we're venturing all the way over to South Korea, where marriages are banned between people with the same surname and if they come from the same ancestral village. I think this was to avoid any potential kind of incest marriages in previous times. But yeah, still a hangover from that if you've got the same last name as your partner or if you come from the same village, then afraid you can't get married.
It's like hopping over to France. So it's not much of a hop from South Korea. Hop, skip and a jump. Yes, to France. And where couples must marry in the town where one of them has lived for at least 40 days before the wedding. Yeah, so not, I guess, a huge amount of like flexibility about where you might fancy getting married.
No, that's a commitment. If you, choosing somewhere else, you've got to live there for 40 days.
Yeah. But nice, I guess, that you might have a tie to the forever to the place that you got married.
In Kentucky, in the US, it's illegal for a woman to marry the same man 4 times.
So, I feel like they're just trying to save her from herself at that point.
You would hope that you've made your mind up, you've made the mistake or whatever that many times, so that's it. We're cutting you off. You can't marry the same person more than 4 times.
You're done. So in some countries you can get married by proxy, so you don't have to even be there. Maybe not the most obviously romantic thing in the world, maybe, but I guess it could be. So basically one of you doesn't have to be there in person. Something that's often maybe used for like military personnel typically. And so places where this happens, it's like Gambia. In the US, it's like Montana, Texas, Colorado, Kansas and California.
Sticking with the US, in Mississippi, and this is a bit of a controversial one. Well, it's not even controversial. Not something that I personally agree with. With parental consent, girls can get married at 15 in Mississippi. It's 17 for males, so there is a difference, but still, you can get married young there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In Mexico, you will need a blood test before you get married. So even if you're like from here heading over there to get married, you need a blood test and it has to be taken in Mexico. So you can't have it like done in the UK before you go. And it has to be done within 14 days of the ceremony. So they're doing like your blood type, HIV, STD, and in some areas you may also have to get like a chest X-ray as well. Mm-hmm. Quite expensive.
Yeah.
Extensive.
Just another quite big piece of admin to do before the wedding, on top of all the other wedding stuff.
Yeah. But that one definitely does still happen because I've done some Mexico like honeymoon resort videos and I've like spoken to like the wedding coordinators over there and they were the ones that originally told me about having to get the blood test. I was surprised. Hence why surprising wedding laws from around the world.
And then moving back to the US, in New York, California and Florida, you can marry your first cousin without any restrictions. In other states, such as Arizona, Illinois and Utah, you can marry your first cousin under certain restrictions. So if you're sterile or if you're well beyond childbearing years, you can marry your first cousin, but otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to. And this actually is allowed in the UK as well. You can marry your first cousin. So yeah.
Yeah, which Again, even though I live it, that's kind of surprising to me. Like,
Yeah.
I always feel like that's something that's said, where like your second cousin, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so there are the sort of fun, unusual facts like of wedding laws from around the world that we've got for you today. Did you find those interesting? Are there any you hadn't heard of? Which one are you most surprised by? If you know of any others, we'd be intrigued to hear about them. So drop them in the comments box below. But if you like that video, if you give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more content like this.